Hello, everyone, and welcome to the fourth qualifier of the Collegiate Chess League's Bughouse Championship. I'm joined once again by Chuck Moulton. As always, Chuck, it's a pleasure to get to commentate some Bughouse with you.
Sure. Before we get too into it, can you pick a game we should look at?
I'm watching Chili Town.
All right.
Who
Yeah,
Charles.
on my stream I have this called number 3. Is this technically number 4 or number 3? 3 didn't so much happen.
This is qualifier number 4.
Okay. And what are you gonna do about 3? Are you gonna redo it, or you haven't figured out yet?
We're gonna either give some players some bye rounds, or we will find new teams to replace those.
Okay. Yeah, I think there's going to be some more people interested. Oh, there's Mate over here with the knight.
There it is.
Okay. Where are we going next?
Let's watch Lance versus Xanthermal.
Okay. Yeah. So I posted to a few Discords and the Bughouse Club. There seemed to be some interest, but some people said, "Oh, looks like the registration deadline has passed." I was like, "Register anyway."
Ignore that. Yeah. Sorry about any confusion there.
Yeah. The other question that I got frequently was, "What if my friend goes to a different university?" And I said, "You have to be from the same university."
Well, we might make exceptions.
Yeah. Okay.
So let them know just to register anyways. Because also it's a good connection for us to know like these players at these schools. So
and the other question I got, just to make clear, Collegiate Chess League and this tournament, it's worldwide, right? It's not just the US, or is it just the US?
It's international.
International, yeah. That's what I thought.
Mm-hmm. All right, so Lance and Percy, these are actually twin brothers from Vanguard University.
And which ones are they? Oh, Lance. Okay.
Lance and
Percy. I see.
Yeah.
Cool. So I guess that answers my international question. They seem to be from the Philippines.
Well, the Vanguard is in Orange County.
Oh, okay.
Los Angeles, but their opponents, Xanthermal and Wowie, we watched them earlier. They got 5th place in the first arena, so they're trying to qualify again here.
So bishop at d6 would be a good move for Lance, because number one, it probably wins the queen, but even if it doesn't, there are mate threats. I would just ignore this queen thing. I would play bishop at d6.
He's not going to ignore it. He's going to move his queen.
Yeah.
Well, I think
also... By the way, this is scary. The rook bearing down on g2. I think Xanther is probably gonna win this game. I mean, Lance really has more initiative and could checkmate Xanther, but he's given up his initiative pretty fast here.
This very well could be Lance's first ever Bughouse game, I believe. So
well, he's doing pretty damn good for his first game.
Well, he's a good chess player, but he's still learning the Bughouse ropes. So we'll see how he progresses.
So knight at h3 for Xanther, followed by bishop takes rook, is going to be pretty strong. Oh, no, but he's just taking a random pawn.
Yeah, there's knight takes now, and still bishop to d6. Yeah, like he said, is pretty good.
Yeah, if knight takes, probably just take back on b5, and that actually would help Xanther, because then the rook would help guard d6.
The knight is really helpful for Wowie, who can place it on f7 now.
Well, Wowie would like a rook, so bishop takes rook is just automatic
here. They
go to
g7 instead.
That is not good. Wowie probably doesn't know about the smothered mate. It's not intuitive for a lot of chess players.
Well, if there were no blockers, this would be good. Oh, there's the queen trade.
Yeah, the queen trade.
Now the h7 is
going to be helpful too.
Where do you block on h5?
Maybe just pawn at e7 could be a good move for Wowie to threaten the rook, and then if the rook moves away, you could throw a knight in at f7.
Oh, I was thinking the pawn on d2 wasn't there. I was thinking bishop takes h6 was really strong, but
yeah.
Also, Lance is going to run out of time. Oh, finally something on d6.
Yeah,
But
this
it's
this
probably
is
too little
okay.
too
So
late.
now like a knight check is good. Oh,
Oh, no back
the
rank.
pawn could
Oh,
promote there even without moving the queen.
now promote. Oh, knight f3. I like that a lot.
Yeah, it does help
Queen
protect.
takes. He's down the. Oh,
Oh well, free
wait.
moves coming in.
C7 was bait. He just got the queen. He could have mated,
Yeah,
but he flagged. Oh, so close.
that was a really close game. Where are we going next?
I probably will want to keep an eye on Chili Town
All right,
as much as
here we go.
possible. This is
So
Charles
one thing I
from.
was wondering is I've seen Chilitown before and I've seen Wowie before. So did some of these teams already qualify or did they both not qualify?
So I don't think you've seen Chili Town before. And I mentioned Wowie we
Oh no
saw
no
did
no!
play
Oh,
in the first qualifier.
hold on. I have not seen Chilitown in these arenas. The name was familiar to me because I played with him over the board. Chilitown is very strong. I played with him at the World Open. He's a very good player.
Yeah, Chili Town is Charles Troutman from Washington University in St. Louis.
Yeah,
Um,
I got to partner him at some time online. Uh, he came out of nowhere over the board. Like he said, he hadn't played much bughouse. Or he played a bughouse a while ago, but hadn't played in a while. And then over the board, he was just like super fast, and he was beating a lot of much stronger players. So I really think
well,
the Chilitown team probably the favorite here.
oh, by a long shot, I believe, for sure.
But good to see
Yeah,
him participating.
yeah, very strong players. The teammate is Shard Haven, which is
And there's mate.
Wilson Gao. Yeah, there's the queen trade. So GG. They might sweep this arena,
Yeah,
but
given the ratings of the other people, they probably will.
we haven't looked at the Syracuse team yet.
Okay, I
Well, we
only
see.
see
Yeah, I
one
only see
game going
the
on.
Chili Town game,
I'm gonna click Chilitown.
so we'll just follow them. So we'll see how the Twins do against the Wash U team. Probably not going to be good. So how do you feel about Chili Town going for the Fianchetto in Bughouse? I feel like that's pretty rare.
Um, it's okay. The fianchetto on the king side much more dangerous than the queen side. The thing you need to remember. Oh, he just hung a bishop. I think Chilitown's going to be pre-moving a lot, so he might lose some pieces there. And it wasn't even taken. It's weird. Um, the so the thing about the fianchetto is a fianchetto itself isn't inherently bad. The problem with the fianchetto is people ordinary. Well, there's two problems. Problem one, people ordinarily fianchetto to get their bishop active. Then their bishop goes in and does something and might trade off or move somewhere else. And once the bishop goes off of that square is vacant and a pawn can be dropped to like promote and win the rook. So you have to watch out for that hole where the bishop is. The second problem, if you fianchetto the bishop and the knight moves away somewhere, then pawn at
Queen
a3
trade
might
is
land,
bait.
supported by a bishop, and then your bishop's hit and it could drop. So you have to be worried about the a3 square being weak if the knight moves away, or h3 on the other side.
True.
All right, I still
Where?
only see Chilitown.
Yeah, where's the Syracuse team?
Oh, Brody Plays is watching. Hey, Brody.
Yeah, Brody, as we all know. Brody, I have a clip of your stalemate we're going to post on all of our social medias. Just keep an eye out for that.
So h6 is weak in Santa's position. Shardhaven staying snug. Oh, there's a knight smothered mate threat. Let's see if Wowie will notice and protect it. Knight at d3. And he already has a knight. I think Chilitown is going to target h6. Maybe queen d2 first. Oh, okay. My bad. It's not quite mate. I guess the bishop left at some point. But it's still a very good move. You may even trade the queen. Like knight takes pawn, knight takes queen, bishop takes. Oh, okay, this is interesting as well. Although I think the knight could be just taken. Well, actually now that he could sack his queen. I guess he'd need one more knight to make that work. Even without the knight, he could have sacked the queen, then played rook at f4 to cut off the queen, and then played knight g4 and then queen in. I think would have been very close to mate. But Chili Town is crushing on his board.
No, Brody, like in its own standalone video.
So it's a very strong position for Chili Town. Like a knight would probably mate, but even knight takes pawn is pretty good. And then you could play rook takes c7, just to get the rook where it can't be taken, threatening pawn at h7. So, I mean, knight just mates immediately, as does a rook. Right now, the queen is under attack. They're up time by a minute. So he might just play it safe and wait for the queen. If it was me, I don't play safe. I would play rook takes pawn because I like to move rather than sit. Yeah, that's a fork, and there's the queen. That's mate.
Nicely done by the Chili.
I don't understand where the other team is. Are they ending exactly before?
It's just not pairing the Syracuse team.
That doesn't make any sense.
Yeah, I don't know either.
Like, I understand you said one team might need to leave earlier, but...
No, this isn't even that team.
Yeah, that's pretty weird.
It can't be because they're not partnered, is it?
I don't know. Even if they weren't partnered, it should automatically partner them up. Okay, Xanther getting in Lance's light squares. So this is a non-Chili Town game. So we do have a real battle here. So threatening queen takes queen to b5, which threatens to win b7 for free if a bishop doesn't come. If I'm Percy, I just slap a pawn down there on d6. Get more pieces on the board. Trading the bishop is not good because it helps Xanther to defend and also attack. Yeah, Xanther's now in on these light squares. Yeah, Percy was up a lot of time and he should have sat earlier. At this point, Lance really should be moving. Lance needs to move his queen to a dark square. Oh, maybe actually bishop at b5 is good too. I like bishop at b5 check. Then bishop takes, queen takes. That was a missed opportunity for Lance. But Lance really needs to worry about his his light squares. Maybe bishop at e2. Are you still here, Joe? You haven't said anything in a while.
Sorry, I'm like trying to share and talk to the Syracuse team and see like what's going on, but
oh, okay.
I'm appreciating
he's in commish mode.
Your bughouse commentary. It's very helpful.
Okay. Yeah, Percy really needs to get some development. Because he played c6, his dark squares are weak, but at least he has his undeveloped bishop covering d6 for now. He really needs to get these pieces out. Wowie has pretty decent development. Wowie wants to play d4 at some point. And if he gets pawns, he can slap a pawn on d6. I don't like the bishop there because it's just gonna like lose a pawn, but at least it's better than sit-in. He went off roll-out moves. Okay, Lance is kind of out of the woods. He can castle either direction. Light squares are still a little bit weak, but he's looking a lot stronger than before. This is an interesting move. In bughouse, a queen is worth 2 pieces, because a queen is worth 4, pieces are worth 2. So pawn takes knight is decent, or bishop takes knight, followed by bishop takes other knight when the queen gets taken. But a lot of players don't know the bughouse piece values, so they overvalue their queens.
What's up, Seattle? Wait, Seattle, are you guys joining the Bughouse Championship next week? Are you gonna get you and Miles?
Or
You and Miles,
right
JT?
now, he could join.
You could actually, that would help, bro. No way. No, you don't want to play Bughouse?
So Percy has a lot of material in hand. One common mistake I see bughouse players, I see that they do is they'll end the game and they'll have like 50 pieces in hand. And the pieces don't really do any good if you don't use them. So if you find yourself ending games with a lot of extra pieces, by the way, there's a checkmate threat from Wowie here. Actually, both have a checkmate threat. A rook would mate for Percy. Percy defended against the mate threat, though. Yeah, so if you find yourself ending the game with too many pieces in hand, next time you play, just put more pieces on the board. Make less chess moves and more piece drops when you have a lot of pieces in hand.
All right, well.
That was a fly.
Lance and Percy get a win there.
All right, watching a Chili Town game now.
Oh,
this is the team that we haven't seen before.
Oh, let's go.
Jello Blob. Okay, so pawns are really good for Shardhaven. I mean, right now our rook mates.
Hey, well, Lance, you guys are on the board, so you guys are in 3rd place right now.
I like this queen move. It's hitting the rook. Knight check is doing a good job with these pieces here. I would play like maybe knight takes bishop and then bring... Oh, never mind, he has a rook. That ends the game immediately. Yeah, my instinct is not to wait for pieces. My instinct is to just look for chess moves I can roll out. And that's one of my weaknesses. It's a strength and a weakness, because if you can always be rolling, then you'll get up more time. But the ability to just be patient and wait for that one piece that mates can also get you a lot of wins.
Okay, now we have all games being played at the same time.
Nice. I'm watching Chili Town right now, but this game ends, we can pick something. Shardhaven is getting attacked here. Wowie is tempoing him a bit. I like pawn at e6 for Wowie. Wowie can just go in on f7. But Chili Town's gonna win a bunch of stuff.
Yeah, e6 is probably the most aggressive you could play for white. I think that, like,
I like bishop c4 for Chili Town. I would have liked bishop c4 before knight takes to guard the pawn.
No,
we didn't have to lose that pawn. Okay, we see Shardhaven has sacked, and he was able to do that because Wowie was not aggressive. Wowie did not play pawn at e6. And Shardhaven probably has enough to mate.
Surely.
Yep. Alright, where are we going now?
Let's go to the other game.
Okay, so we have Lance.
Oh. Yeah.
Lance and Jello Blob. Or, sorry, Lance and Percy versus Janice and Jello Blob.
Yeah, so this is the Syracuse team that wasn't getting paired earlier. And
I like this knight move a lot from Janice. Because if the queen moves away to save itself, you could just put a new knight on e2. And depending where it moves, pawn at e2 might be good as well. Like if the queen goes back to d1. So he's getting some. It's also threatens rook at h1. This knight is just a great injection.
Yeah, it's also just a fork. We see queen f2 attacking the knight, and black doesn't do what you were thinking of, just takes the rook right away, which is still
Yeah,
probably
I
fine.
don't like that move. I think it would have been much better if he put a new knight on e2 first. Percy has to worry a little bit about the fact that he's played g6, and that weakens his dark squares. Queen trade is on offer. The queen trade is going to benefit Janice more than Lance at the present moment.
Lance blocks. This is like the only defense.
Yeah.
Knight takes, bishop takes. Knight at
Knight at
d1 is really
d1. Yeah.
savage.
Knight at d1 is
Yeah.
a fun move. But there's other possibilities as well. Pawn at g3 is good, and then if queen takes, you have knight at e2. A lot of possibilities. This is interesting too. See, Percy's down so much time. If Percy were up time, then he would probably have mate here. Oh, that's a weird bishop move. Jelobov's just going to take it. I think he's
What up,
fine.
Max?
As long as his partner sits, he's fine. Jelobov can probably mate here. Just stick a bishop on f6. Threaten to mate two ways.
Max, are you gonna watch PogChamps? Whoa, knight f3. What's this all about?
PogChamps is going on right now, as far as I know.
As
So
we
please
speak.
do not watch PogChamps, because this is the place to be. But once this is over, we're all watching PogChamps, obviously.
Okay, so the Syracuse team beat the Vanguard team. That puts them in third place.
Nice.
He's watching
All right.
both.
Oh, I don't. Are there any games going on? I don't see any
I think
games.
so.
Oh wait, now I see some. Where are we going? Are we going Chili Town?
Chili Town.
All right.
You miss Brody. Brody might still be lurking. We
So
got a couple ambassadors in chat.
Shardhaven seems to be playing this opening that sacks a pawn for a little bit of development. There's a lot of bughouse players who love this opening. Development is so important. I am a greedy pawn grabber, so I do not like this opening. I like it when my opponent plays the opening. Oh, that loses a knight. No, actually it doesn't. That's just a free pawn. Yes, good vision by Shardhaven.
Watch out for mate on f2.
Mate on f. Oh yeah, with queen takes pawn for sure.
Percy, they gotta trade the knights probably, but bishop takes with a gnarly tempo on the queen. Okay, so we avoid the mate threat, but now we gotta save our queen somehow.
Yeah. And these trades are going to benefit Chili Town. Like pawn at f6 is pretty
Trade.
good. Oh, never mind. Pawn at h6 since he has the queen. Pawn at h6, then queen at g7.
Chili Town's gonna having a feast over there on the dark squares. So
Yeah, it is
that's tough for
Lance's move, but I don't see a defense for Lance. Lance is just pretty dead.
Knight on g8. Knight on g8. Oh, wait. Oh, wow. Look at this knight sacrifice. Beautiful.
I mean, it wasn't needed. Just pawn at
Just pawn at
h6 was
h6.
fine. But maybe it's like a safe pre-move. I don't know if he pre-moved it.
Yeah, who knows? Maybe Shard and Percy just want to play. Chili's like, I'll let you finish the game off. Oh, knight c7 fork. Percy's winning the rook in the corner. No, there's the mate. Yeah, wait, didn't take. I just guessed the king move. Yeah, but it was gonna be mate regardless.
All right. I see a Wowie game. Are we watching that one?
Yeah, let's do it.
Okay. This game is in progress. Janice has got his queen out early. The downside of this is the queen can get chased around. Oh, here I would take the knight. Bishop takes knight. And then after that, it looks like b2 is hanging. Oh, huge raid from Hot Blockchain. Really appreciate it. Let me give her a shout out.
Played.
Yeah, I was watching her stream right before I started streaming. We're doing some chill Bughouse commentary right now. Bughouse is a chess variant played by 4 players in teams of 2. Whenever you capture a piece, you give it back to your partner. and you can place any of those pieces your partner's handed to you on any empty square as a move, and checkmate or flag on either board ends the game. You can play on chess.com. I'm doing commentary now with Joe Bruin. This is the Collegiate Chess League Bughouse tournament. So it's open to university players. Didn't have many teams join, but they're battling it out.
Does Hot Blockchain play chess?
Hot Blockchain has played chess on occasion, yeah.
Well,
and her sister
college,
also plays some chess.
Oh, they could be a Bughouse tandem duo.
Her sister's not in university yet, but she goes to Carnegie Mellon.
Wow, Carnegie Mellon has an awesome chess club.
It does,
she should
yeah.
join. We had their club leaders on our podcast, actually. Ashley and Katie. They're great.
Yeah, I'm from Philly originally, and I have some friends who used to do the Bughouse circuit where they would. I'm trying to remember the Bughouse circuit. I think it was like Friday nights they would play University of Pennsylvania Chess Club. Which game are we going to? I guess
Chili game.
There's a Chili game. I don't see a Chili game. Now I see it. Okay.
Pawn at
yeah, this is a really strong move. So
Hunter promotes the knight.
Okay, he's just taking knight. If he waited for a pawn, he could have won a queen. So that's kind of weird.
Yeah.
But anyway, my friend used to do the circuit where you play at University of Pennsylvania's chess club. You play Bughouse on Friday nights, and then a bunch of us played in suburban Philly on Saturday nights, and then Sunday nights he would drive to Pittsburgh to play at the CMU Chess Club. All Bughouse.
Oh, nice.
Feels bad, Hedgehog. Some people wild in the chat. Yeah, I'm a gaming streamer. Oh, he should have really waited for a pawn, but this queen trade probably benefits his partner.
Lance is playing in the arena, Seattle U. Lance is learning the ways of Bughouse as we speak. Knight takes as a fork. So yeah, I don't think anyone's
it's just a trade though, because bishop can take back, and in Bughouse those piece values are the same. As bishop check is better. He wants to threaten the mate. Bishop check, queen where the king is, and then a pawn on mate.
Yeah, Lance and his brother are both repping the West Coast, Best Coast. Okay, diagonal mates for white.
And they're up almost a minute on the clock with the diagonal clocks. So he can wait for a pawn.
For Wowie's move.
There was a pawn and take also.
You know, there is knight d5, which blocks the diagonal.
Yeah, it blocks it for one move, but I think in 50 seconds he can find a pawn to take.
Yeah, I can't wait for Seattle University to start streaming, because every stream will be a cooking stream.
So by the way, hey, 909 Danny, thanks for watching. Yeah, I know Hot Blockchain streams very different content for me, but she games occasionally. She's a very smart person, so she definitely has the ability to get good at chess if she wanted to, but obviously she has other priorities. Where are we going? Are we going Chili Town?
I'm watching Lance.
We're watching Lance, okay.
Lance. Yes. Lance versus Anthermal and Wowie, so...
All right, so right now this knight is attacked by two things. So he's got to either move the knight or, yeah, the recapture is fine. D6 is weak. You could put a pawn there or a knight there or a bishop there. Let's throw the bishop in since we have a bishop.
Putting anything there would be
on
great.
the Wowie move, on the Wowie board, my chess instincts are to grab the rook file after you capture there. Well, first trade the pawn and then grab the rook file and then develop some of these pieces.
Well, you don't want to put rook on b8 too quick, because after pawn takes d4, knight takes
Well, no. I would take the pawn first and then slide the rook over.
Yes, if you take on d4, the knight takes on d4, threatening...
Oh, yeah, threatening c6. Yeah, but then you can play bishop d7. There's ways to now there's well
then
I
you
would play
lose your
pawn takes
queen.
pawn. You could take the free pawn too. Just knight takes pawn is fine. Knight takes pawn, then you could sack the knight on f2. So a pawn wins a queen for Xanther. Knight takes pawn, definitely warranted. They get the pawn to win a free queen. Xanther's probably annoyed that Wowie didn't take the pawn. Wowie also hung a pawn because after knight takes or bishop takes, that's going to be a free pawn. Xanther still hasn't gotten the pawn, and Lance can
There it
protect
is.
this. Yeah, it was Lance's move. Lance should protect this.
Protect. What do you want him to protect?
I want him to protect c7 so he doesn't lose a queen for free.
C7 seems smart. Yeah, pawn to C7's incoming from Xanther. So does Lance see it? Seattle U says no. Fans have to wait and see. Ah, there it is. Pawn at C7. Is that the best
Yeah.
move, Chuck?
Uh, it's fine. I mean, Lance was already in a pretty bad position. So,
What about
this
castling?
bishop, I would sack the bishop for the pawn and then slap a pawn at d6. And at worst, you get it back by taking the knight
Ooh,
later.
takes.
Okay, he's just going to trade.
So now a queen takes.
I like pawn at h6 here. The tempo of the bishop.
Wait. Oh, yes.
Wowie still has not grabbed the rook file. A lot of people don't have those chess instincts. But bishop e7, probably a good idea too, to get some development of the bishop.
I like bishop e7.
Knight at h4 could also be interesting, tempo the queen. But
No.
yeah, I like bishop e7. Xanther
Castle's
just moved his queen, but now that queen can be tempoed. So if I'm Lance, I want to think about things like knight at e5, just chase that queen around and get more pieces on the board.
There are two knights. There's knight e5.
Yeah, and you're also, the bonus, you're also threatening the bishop, but I mean, that's less relevant than just getting more pieces on the board and tempoing the queen.
The bishop bonus, we'll see what Lance does. Lance is definitely much better off now than he was 3 moves ago.
Yeah, for sure.
So queen back to e2. And now
I would, your two options, you could take the bishop and then put a knight again on e5 to just get more pieces on the board, or you could start tempoing. You could put like a pawn on
there's one
h3.
tempo. Pawn push, that's going to induce some
The
weaknesses.
pawn push actually
Now
helps Xanther a lot because now the rook guards those weak squares.
All right.
But if queen takes knight, Lance maybe could get a bishop to put on a6 or yeah, this knight move is decent too.
Your 95 idea.
Yeah, but like a bishop would be pretty good for Lance right now. Wowie is actually, the clock is pretty even, surprisingly
Everyone's
enough.
at 40 seconds or less.
Yeah. Okay, knight at h3, pretty good for Wowie. Or knight at f3, but I like h3
Bishop
better.
c4, that's a
Yeah,
skewer, but
yeah.
white can
Pawn
block
at
on d3.
pawn at d3.
Pretty solid stuff.
I don't know what Wowie's waiting for. Yeah, he found the knight move.
Oh, knight check from Wowie. Pawn block from Xanthermal. They're all under 30 seconds now.
Okay, so rook mates. Oh, that's,
Dude, I think the
doesn't
twins are
work.
gonna-
That's mate. Rook takes queen. Rook takes
Wowie needs a
knight
blocker.
in. Knight in.
Oh, bishop block.
Oh, he didn't see it.
Doubled.
Knight at e7, and then rook
Check.
takes bishop with mate.
Has to block. Blocks. I think they're gonna flag. Less than 10 seconds for the Santa Fe team. The pieces are flying in
Rook
now.
still mates. Okay, that queen made it.
From Xanther.
Nice.
Wow, he had less than 2 seconds left.
All right,
Oh,
we go in Chili Town. Oh wait, the Chili Town
so
ended.
Close.
Are we good? Are we repeating Wowie, or what's the plan here?
Yeah, Xanthermal.
Okay.
In June versus Jello and Wowie. Or Jello's versing Wowie.
Yeah, that was a close one. Initiative.
Xanther clutched that mate.
Thanks for the follow from Pawn Princess Cutie, by the way. Really appreciate it.
I think that's why you don't want to fiend cutout in bughouse. But that was quite the buzzer beater from Xanthermal.
Yeah.
All right. So
So
June and
Xanter's been
Jello
tempoing this bishop a lot.
from
This knight move, I
Syracuse.
guess, is fine. You're threatening pawn at e7, but really this knight should trade. Pawn at e7 now is really good for Xanther. I don't like that knight trade. Maybe just a knight back on d5. Or you could stick a knight on g4. Oh, he wants to threaten a one move cheapo mate. I assume Janice will see it. Jillabrob threatening a fork.
That's an annoying fork. Maybe develop the bishop.
So
Might be
Janice
for the
could think
fall.
about just knight takes f7, followed by like bishop takes bishop. He really wants to get initiative on this king here. So I think sacking a knight is warranted. You also play knight takes h7, but you just really want to get in on that king.
Oh, so knight takes either pawn and then place a bishop on g5. Seems pretty strong, right? Oh, knight goes back. It's not as aggressive.
Yeah, for Janice, I don't like the fact that he hasn't moved his d-pawn, because that bishop would be very useful guarding these light squares.
Ooh, knight at c2 for Wowie would be a fork.
Yeah, or pawn at c2. Both
Yeah,
good.
if they got a pawn. Looks like the queen's hit by this knight.
Yeah.
Okay, we see the fork.
Before that, he could have developed his bishop to check.
Well,
I
we
think
can
that would
see
have
it
been a
now.
good intermezzo move, but it's still a useful move. It's just less useful than when his knight still existed.
Okay, is the queen trapped? Where does the queen go?
Queen is probably trapped, but I mean, it could. Well,
Offering
not
queen
there.
trade,
Certain.
but
Well, I guess that trades since the
bishop
knight defends,
g5.
but g4 was probably a better place for that queen.
G4, and then the d pawn can push with tempo. White would have to block on
Yeah,
f5.
yeah, but block on an f5 wouldn't be that bad. The bigger issue here that we're not talking about is the clock. So Janice is up like 40 seconds on Wowie, and the clock matters a lot in Bughouse. That means
Yeah,
the Jello Blob team can wait for any piece they want, and if any piece is bad for them, then their partner can stall so that their opponent does not get that piece.
yeah. So we saw that a little bit in the last game, but Xanthermal clutched out with a checkmate with 2 seconds left on Wowie's clock. So we'll see if the Santa Fe team can repeat that. But looks like Wowie's probably going to flag if the Syracuse team can keep up the pressure, and it looks like they are.
Yeah, so now Janice should put like a bishop on f3 or h3.
Knight
Time to
e
attack.
found that 10 seconds left for Wowie.
Knight d5 is good for Jello Blob. Knight d5 actually threatens mate. Knight d5, the queen might move away, and then a new knight on e7. But I guess it wouldn't quite be mate, but it would at the very least win a queen. Oh, Xanther has a mate.
Nice.
Well,
Yes. Oh, pawn takes.
the smothered mate is for sure mate, but if he takes, I think you play a knight at e7, because then the knight can go to f5 after a
Wowie
pawn check.
flagged.
Okay. Let's see. Where are we going next? It looks like we only have one game
June
going.
and Lance, yeah.
Okay. Maybe one of the teams dropped out. You said one of the teams would have to go early.
Yeah, we have 20 minutes left in the arena.
Oh, you got the Santa Fe president watching over his team there, looks like, in your chat.
Hello, I am Naruski. How are you? But yeah, it looks like the Santa Fe team should be getting third place, but they're 1 point behind June and Jello, so they could definitely catch up. We have Lance and Percy here. in last place, but they're trying to get some points here, maybe against the Syracuse team.
Oh, you got a question in your chat about how long you've been
I've
playing
been
chess?
playing for about a decade, since like 2012. My USCF I got in 2013, so that's a decade.
So again for Lance, I would grab the open B file, and I would play
Ooh,
bishop e7.
C3.
Okay, that's interesting because that knight guards this pawn. I really like this bishop move. Take the knight first, and then if that's dealt with, you can retreat the knight to b5. There's another idea here, by the way. Instead of knight back, if he had a pawn, pawn at e2 would have been very strong. Because if rook takes, then you have knight takes f3, which would be undefended. But instead, he's traded a bunch. That's fine. Percy really should probably just put another bishop on the board on e3. He's just going to retreat. Okay. g2 looks weak for either a knight or a pawn hitting the rook.
G2 is weak on both boards.
It is, yeah.
Okay, queen b3 attacking this pawn with check, but also keeping an eye on f7, which maybe a knight on g5 for June would be pretty good.
Yeah, that's a good point.
We do see bishop e3 played. Knight to g2 with the fork, the king of the bishop.
Yeah, if he goes to f1, if I'm Jello Blob, I would look for initiative. So I would play knight takes bishop. Then if that gets taken back, I would put a new pawn on. Okay, so here maybe just bishop takes bishop. You want to vacate a square for a second knight. Okay, I don't like that
Takes
so much.
with the knight. You wanted the knight on f4, did you?
Yeah.
Essentially.
Oh, but Janice is really going after this f pawn. Like
Yeah,
that's his
bishop to
clear plan.
f5, trying to remove the defender of f7.
Jello Blob has grabbed the rook file, which other team didn't seem to be doing.
So rook's attacking b2 now.
Oh, bishop takes bishop is really strong for Janice.
Yeah,
Yeah, like he can't take back either thing because of the mate threat. He might have to play like queen e7 and get some luft for his king. But more than likely, Janice is just gonna mate here. Or Junice is. I never know how to pronounce these usernames. Sorry about that.
I'm just saying June.
June, yeah, that'll work. The dark squares are very weak on the Jello Blob board. I think you can play knight at f4 and then bishop at e3. Oh, okay. That's a missed opportunity. Maybe he's just trying to feed his partner, though, because his partner also has a very good position. Oh, that was a nice save by Lance. So Lance did a knight check to deflect the knight, and then after that he was able to take the bishop. It's still not looking good for Lance. Okay, Lance has mated him one, but it saved him for a couple moves at least.
So the Wash U team at top left, and the Santa Fe team is telling me that it glitched. So
What do you mean by glitched?
I don't know. I'm asking them for more details.
Okay.
Anyways, how much time do we have left? 15 minutes in the arena?
Yeah, looks like it.
So, okay, that was a checkmate from June there against Lance.
Oh, so
Ooh,
looking at the
look at that
stand, then the
queen.
Chili Town team has won 9 games in a row.
Yeah, and then they had to leave. So
I don't think anyone's going to catch up to that, but we'll see.
yeah, there's not going to be enough pairings probably for June and Jello to have a chance.
Okay, we have a game though.
Okay, that's good. So yeah, Xanthromal from Santa Fe. Oh, but their clocks are just running. Oh no, they abandoned. They're saying it looks like they're kicked.
That is weird.
Yeah, that's what
They
they
may
said.
need to refresh their browser or something like that.
They said they did refresh, and it's not working.
That's unfortunate.
But I wonder, did that give? Wow, that gave Lance and Perry a win, or Percy a win. It says that he's not even in the tourney anymore. Well, rejoin it, I guess. let's go. The abandonment win. Well, I don't know.
So
So,
it seems like a tie for third place at the bottom here.
well, probably we give the tiebreak to
Wi-Fi
Santa
Gambit.
Fe.
It's nice to see one of the players is in your chat.
Yeah, that's Lance. The Santa Fe team's still trying to refresh and get back in. So I don't know. I don't know what happened. Hard to explain. What about their teammate?
So by the way, a few of my friends said they might register if there's still time to register.
There is.
And King Switcher, who's pretty good at Bughouse, he said he's waiting on his friend to respond. So like a lot of these guys are itching to play, but their usual bug partners are not from the same university. So they're scrambling to find friends who go to their same university. And I'm sure they'll find someone to partner, but it'll just take a few more hours.
Yeah, just have them reach out to me and we'll work something out.
Yeah.
Oh, we have a game now.
Oh, we do. Nice.
June versus Xanther, so they've rejoined, which is great news.
Okay, so
We love to see
here we
it.
see the problem with the Fee and Shadow is that h6 is weak because the knight no longer defends h6. It's just the bishop. So if a pawn comes for June, then he can really get in there. On the other hand,
Ooh,
Xanther
Xanther's
has cheesed
winning a bishop.
the bishop for a pawn, which is a pretty good trade.
Wowie's getting in
Wowie's
there as
putting a
well.
lot of pressure on, although Wowie's being pressured himself.
Yeah, the knight is defending f2, but is under attack by the g
Yeah.
pawn, which has been taken. So now the bishop on e7 is hanging.
You could so
play
queen
like bishop
queen
f6.
f3 is possible, or let's just like pawn at f6.
Oh, but
That
this isn't
can
a
just
good
be taken
defense.
too. Like
Yeah,
bishop takes bishop.
takes.
So
Bishop takes,
even if
pawn takes, you
Jello
weaken
does
f2.
not mate, he's gonna win a bunch of free pieces.
Ooh, takes on g2 first. Very interesting. Very interesting. Now takes on e3. I think I would have liked to take on e3 first.
Yeah,
but
me too. But this is working out the same.
Bishop
Okay,
that's
so
made one.
finally
Queen f2.
things are
Whoa!
landing.
Jello Blob missed maiden one.
Okay.
They had queen
But
f2.
he's lined up another maiden one. Will you see this one?
It's still maiden one.
All right.
Wowie and Jello Blob both missed the maiden one, but Jello gets it on the second try. And now we've got Lance versus June.
Here we go.
So I wonder who it's probably going to pair Lance with.
When people
Xanther
play
Molnix.
c5, it creates a huge weakness on c7. So if I'm Percy, that's my target all game is c7.
Well, I mean, it's the Sicilian defense chuck. That's got to be a pretty good opening.
Not in Bughouse. I mean, in Bughouse, the decent players who play openings like this do it just to like throw their opponents off, and then like as soon as they get a pawn, they just slap it down on c7. So,
like the c5.
oh, okay.
And
So
the
pawn at e4 wins the piece for Lance, but he doesn't have a pawn. Now they both
pawn
are
at
falling
e5.
prey to that tactic.
Yeah, work for June. So who's gonna get the pawn
if
first?
I'm Percy, I think about playing like knight d5 to threaten the c7 square, because again, that's my target all game.
Yeah, knight d5 is really strong.
Not anymore.
Not a lot anymore. However,
but
knight b5.
Yeah, knight b5 works.
Knight b5 looking real juicy. You give
if
up
I'm
that
Lance, then I'm probably thinking of castling, because it helps deal with the pressure on the knight. It gets the king safer.
Castling always seems like a pretty good move. Knight to b5 played by Percy. Maybe I feel like they might be listening to the broadcast.
They might be.
We know Lance is in
Okay,
the
that's a
chat.
free queen. Pawn at c7, free queen. Okay,
No,
instead he's
but
throwing in a check. It's a good check. It's just the queen was better. Pawn at h6 is going to be good after the king moves over. I mean, there's a lot of good ideas. Sacking the knight is also good, but I'd rather win a piece.
These players are just playing chess. They're not using the pieces.
Yeah, it seems so. Okay, that's a free pawn. We could take it two different ways. I
A
would probably
heavy's
take with the
made.
g5 knight, but they're both good. I don't like that. That knight
Bishop.
was very useful before.
How do you feel about this b2 pawn?
Oh, I don't like g3. Creates light squared weaknesses.
Well, going for that fianchetto though.
Yeah,
take on b2. There it is.
The fianchettos are, like I said, not that great in bughouse.
The biggest problem here, I think, is the clock.
Yeah, clock's a huge problem. Jello Blob team up 1 minute.
So we see the knight land on e5 for June, but the pawn probably would have been better.
Now another knight at f3 is really good for Jello Blob, and he's up enough time he can sit for that knight. Because the f6 knight is in take.
Will Jello wait for it?
He should. There's a knight right there. That's a free queen if he puts the knight down.
Oh, wow. It's basically a smothered king. You got to take queen takes, but Jello's not playing it. There it is.
He found it.
Percy, queen takes, only legal move. Tough stuff.
And after knight takes, I would consider like new bishop at g4. To have an X-ray on the king.
For the Fernandez twins.
So looked like a pre-move there. Safe pre-move for sure, but interesting to see who's pre-moving. Okay, I like bishop at g4, but even like knight back to d4 is decent too. Now you open up your queen. So queen takes c2 is a threat.
Huge threat. So yeah, Chuck, pre-moving the only legal response. How do you feel about that?
I am against pre-move on general principle because I consider it to be computer assistance. If I can go like literally like if I can go make a sandwich and like the computer makes the move for me while I'm gone, I consider that computer assistance. But it is a minority position for sure.
You decided to put the moves there. You chose the moves there.
Yeah, but making the move is part of the move.
Well, that's why you do it before. Anyways, my point was, Chuck, was that it was, your opponent has one legal move. So
it's definitely a safe pre-move. Okay, pawn mates for June, and he doesn't wait for it.
But
the rook also mates. Rook at g8, mate immediately.
rook g8 or bishop. Oh,
he just wants to flag him. Okay.
I mean,
that works.
Any move there will get the job done.
Yeah.
So didn't really matter.
Okay.
All right. Well, that puts June and Jello at 4 in a row. There's time for maybe one last game. We have Xanther versus Lance. So we'll see how this. Oh, but Xanther's not moving. We might still. No, there it is. All right. So they're there. They're giving a little bit of time odds to Lance and Percy, which after the last game we saw might be very much needed.
Yeah. Handicap always appreciated.
So this will be the last game of the tournament, unless this finishes really quickly, but we'll see. But essentially, this is the fight for third place. Both these teams are tied at 6 each, although we did see Lance and Percy get a nice little Wi-Fi gambit win there against these teams. But maybe Xanthermal and Wowie can get the third place back.
And to clarify, for those of you not aware of what's going on, this is a qualifier arena for a bracket tournament, and the place finished in this tournament matters for your matchups in the bracket. So higher standing players will play against lower standing players in the bracket. But we have a lot more bughouse to come. I guess, is it a week from now is the start of the bracket?
Yeah. So next Thursday. So in 6 days, the CCL Bughouse Championship bracket will commence with the it's a 16 round or 16
Ooh,
team
I don't like king up.
single elim. Yeah, knight comes back with check.
Oh, pawn check.
And now, yeah, pawn g7 is just devastating.
So
for
and
Percy.
there's an even better move. So like pawn at e7, queen takes, followed by pawn at g7, or you could use a bishop for one of them, and then if the king moves over, you can like just take the queen with check. Wowie trying to get some initiative of his own.
Yeah, Wowie's getting in. Wait, is a knight mate?
No, the knight covers d4.
Oh yeah, okay.
But pawns are quite good. If he
But
had
it's
like a
really
pawn for
close.
f3, pawn at f3, king takes, new bishop at g4, and he could really get something going there. His
Man,
problem is he's
Percy had
down way too much time. He's
Wowie.
down
We've seen
45
Wowie be
seconds.
down. Yeah, so Lance and Percy could get a flag, but this is such a crazy position. Percy didn't play a pawn at either e7 or g7. Instead, opted for this pawn push g3, which allows for this pawn d2 check. Now the king's on e2. It's all up in the air. Wowie's still waiting on Lord knows what. So much time.
I mean, if his opponent keeps moving, oh, by the way, knight takes pawn, super good. I would play pawn at f3 if I'm Wowie. I think his opponents really have allowed more than they needed to. And by the way, there's a smothered mate for Xanther if he were to get a rook and a knight.
Pawn just to g4. Now Percy can give some checks.
Yeah.
You do have to watch out
pawn,
for a mate,
he put a
though.
pawn on g4, which is a really terrible place for that. I
No,
mean,
he's
I
starting to
guess
mate.
his idea is if Percy ever runs out of
queens on the
checks, he'll
board.
have mate.
Surely Percy has mate, right?
Yeah. Oh, for sure. Percy just needs to play pawn at g7, then take the rook.
Wait for us to tell Percy the exact moves that they need to make.
Oh, you think Percy's listening?
Well, I don't know. I would assume so.
Yeah, I mean, Percy also could just not move and let his partner win on top. Well, unless his partner doesn't move too. I don't know why Lance isn't moving.
Well, pawn to e7's been played.
Yeah, no, that's a very decent move.
Queen takes.
Oh,
Knight
that you
takes queen.
cannot do.
That's a mate in one.
Yeah,
Oh.
and even a pawn there instead of a queen mated.
Oh.
Yeah, Percy
See?
needed to keep initiative, so I don't think he understood the
Just
importance of initiative.
Too excited
there.
about the queen. Too excited about the queen.
Yeah. Oh, is another game started?
That's why the pawn on g4 was so good, Chuck.
I mean, it worked out. Hard to
All's
argue
well
with
that
results.
ends well, right? And with that in the standings, that's going to leapfrog Xanther and Wowie from 4th to above Lance and Percy.
And I don't think there's going to be.
Yeah, even if the next game starts, it won't finish in time. So with that, I think we're safe to say these are the final standings for this qualifier arena, the last qualifier arena.
Congratulations to my friend Chili Town. It was great playing with you in Philly.
Dude, Chili Town, more like Philly Town, right?
Yeah. And it's great seeing all the other players too. Are you down to? Oh, hey, young Korean chess player. Thanks for watching. Joe, are you down to play a few Bughouse games, or do you have stuff you need to do?
I am going to watch PogChamps. So,
Okay.
but I appreciate the invite, Chuck.
Oh yeah, you have mod duties over there.
Not really necessarily,
Okay.
but yeah, I'm gonna end the stream here, and I'm gonna head out. But thanks,
All right.
Chuck, as always,
Thanks
and
for
I'll see you next week.
co-commentating. Appreciate it.
Yeah.
Normally I would end here, but I did get a big raid, even though most of those viewers have probably left, because I stream very different content from Hot Blockchain. I still want to play a few bughouse games of my own just to show them what's what. So I'm going to keep going for maybe another half hour or so. And then I'll watch
Sounds
PogChamps too.
good.